Hello everybody and welcome back to Seagulls Flying High with myself, Seagulls Tom. So we have had a few games in the last month or so, another mixed period. We played some tough sides in City and Spurs, and we also had that easier run that we said of sort of Newcastle, West Ham, West Brom in there, and we're going to play the Everton game today. Before that, I want to go through what we've done, how the results have gone, and a little bit how the players are doing. There's a couple of players that really stood out for me and a couple of players that are quite disappointing, and maybe how we can solve that and what we're looking to do in January and then in the summer window coming, because I've already got an idea of what I want to do. But first, we have had quite a bad injury to one of our key players, Adam Lallana. He is out for 3 to 5 months, and that happened pretty much at the start of this period of games. So he's been out for sort of 7 months, maybe in total. So it's a big loss. So we've had to have Steven Alzate come in to play that role and try and sort of fulfil Adam Lallana's boots with proper sometimes as well. And then there has been a slight change in tactics because of that, just to give us a little bit more defensive solidarity, really. But should we quickly just go over what we've done in the last couple of games? It's been quite disappointing, as you say. So we left off in the Liverpool game, lost 3-0. We then went back home to Newcastle United, where we finished 2-2. Andrea Battaglia getting 2 goals, which is great to see. But we're pretty much coming back all the game, and we couldn't really capitalise on that Jeff Hendrick late red card. But it's one of those. It's not a result we wanted, but it's a result we'll take. It's a point on the board. And this one was the really disappointing one. I'm just going to load up this game for you against West Ham. So we went away to West Ham. We lost 3-0. But as you see from the stats, it's not really a 3-0 game. We just weren't clinical enough. They got their goals, always on the counter-attack, and they were just better in front of goal. If we had maybe a bit more clinical edge to us, we probably would have got a couple of goals. West Ham still probably would have won, so I feel like they did edge the game, even though the stats tell differently. But Rhian Brewster came on for his debut and didn't really do anything, which is quite disappointing. But then we went back at home against West Brom, where we picked up a 2-1 win, which was great to see. Both our wing backs getting on the score sheet. So Wendell got the first one for us after we went 1-0 down to a Callum Robertson goal, and then Joel Veltman, who had just come on for Tarek Lamptey, got the second goal, which ended up being the winner. So a really good result. And we went and lost 2-0 away to Manchester City, it's one of those. But then we were still on the road, so we had quite a few games on the road to Tottenham Hotspur, where we lost 3-2 and probably edged the game. I think on the balance of play, we had more of the ball. We just as sort of creative as them, but they just had those players. Dele Alli filling the boots of Harry Kane very well, got the 2 goals, and a couple of mistakes. They've got a penalty, and if I can just load up Dele Alli's first, you'll see why we were so unlucky with this one. Cool, it just took ages to load up, so I'm going to jump forward for you and we'll go straight to the goal. So it started off with a deep free kick for Ben White, which he sort of just pumped long just to no one. Doherty picked it up, and Gareth Bale, we know his quality and he's generally quite good, just puts it forward. Lewis Dunk tries to overplay, back to Matty Ryan. And Dele Alli's just quicker. It's just those silly mistakes that sort of hurt us in that game. And unfortunately, another goal from Wendell and penalty from Battaglia couldn't quite hold us up to get the point at least, but we probably maybe even could have edged it for 3. But I think a point would have been fair. But today we are going to face Everton, who are down in 15th. They've not had the greatest run of games so far. I'm not too sure who they've played, but let's just have a quick look. So they've had quite a lot of draws in there. Some good draws actually against Chelsea, City, and Liverpool. So they've had quite a difficult start to the season. So maybe they're going to pick up a few more games coming up and pull themselves up the table. But they were lingering down in sort of 18th at one point, so I thought it'd be a good game for us to show you, but maybe not. But yeah, so I do want to actually quickly just show you a couple of the key players for us. So we have changed our system, as you can slightly see there. So we brought one of the midfielders further deeper up, which means we can push on our wing backs a lot more. So these were usually on attack, but because we have just played Tottenham, I've brought them back onto support. But Dale Stephens has been absolutely brilliant in these past few games. So if we just have a look at his form, and just down here you can see sort of he's making four and a third tackles per game, and it's just something that's really strong. And he's making quite a lot of interceptions as well. So he's really been a rock in that hole, sort of in front of the defence and behind the midfield. But he's just not getting the average rating because that sort of role doesn't in Football Manager. But really important for us, and I think he's just made us a little bit more defensively solid. You've also got Wendell as well, who's having an absolute storm. He's got 3 goals in 11 games for a left back, got 1 assist, making good dribbles, tackling well. If you have a look at his full stats, down the box, and it'll show us there. Tackling, making just under a tackle a game at 88% success rate, I think it said. So really solid. That was actually non-competitive. In the competitive, he's making just under 6 tackles per game. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant stats. You also got Tarek Lamptey, who's been a star. Let's just have a quick look at him. Have rested him in a couple of games for Joel Veltman to come on. But look, he's making 6 tackles a game, good passing numbers, got 3 assists, 1 player of the match, dribbling very well. So really happy with the 2 wing backs. I think they're both of a decent age, so we should have them quite strong going forward. One person that has been disappointing is Ben White. Probably not as disappointing as Lewis Dunk, but I find it harder to drop Lewis Dunk because he's the captain. But he's making sort of 1.5 tackles a game. Passing well. He is young, so I just feel like he's probably going to be one a bit more for the future. And I'll bring Joel Veltman in, and I've changed Lewis Dunk to more defensive rather than covering at the back. But yeah, so that's sort of how it's been going. We've not been scoring a lot of goals, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. What I have been looking at in sort of the scouting and the transfer market is a holding midfielder. I've not found one yet, other than potentially Oliver Mitchum. I think Tysek from Celtic is someone that I may go after, but I'm not sure he's quite that holding player that we need. But the idea is someone I want there is going to be strong, is just going to break up the player and then give it to the likes of Bissouma, Proper, Alzate, McAllister, who will be able to create a bit more. But one thing that is nice is because these wing backs are getting so far forward, you've always got the cross ball on, so it generally is how we start our attacks. It's just more pay, can't finish at the moment. But yeah, so this is probably how we're going to enter the game, as Liverpool have just smashed Crystal Palace 6-0. Great times. But yeah, this is probably how we're going to go for the game. Matty Ryan in goal. We're going to put him to a sweep keeper actually, because I feel like that might help us because we are playing that high line. Maybe that's why the mistakes have been happening, because he's been on his line, he's not getting forward enough. So when we are trying to play back to him, the gap's just too much. So that may be why the mistakes happening. But we are going to try out Steven Alzate instead of David Proper here, I think. I think he's a bit younger and just got a bit more attacking nous about him. And I do want to bring Bernardo onto the bench. So the side is Matty Ryan in goal, Joel Veltman, Lewis Dunk, and Emma Strauss back 3, Tarek Lamptey and Wendell as our wing backs, with Stevens holding, Basuma as more box to box, and Alzate as our creative player, with Tanya and Morpay up top. On the bench, Jason Steele, Ben White, Bernardo, David Proper, McAllister, Trossard, and Aaron Connolly. So yeah, let's go and see what sort of side Everton fielded. Okay, the Everton side is very strong. Jordan Pickford in goal. I'm not sure he's quite as bad on this game as he is in real life, so that might be quite a challenge. Defensively, Mason Holgate right back, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, and Marcus Alonso. Is that at left back? Yes, it is Marcus Alonso. So he's going to be bombing forward from that from that left hand side down our right hand side. You've got Gomez and Allen in the middle, with Bernard as your right winger, James Rodriguez in the middle, a really big threat, Alex Iwobi on the left, and then with Charlison up top. So let's see what we can do from this. Tell the lads that sort of we are hoping they can put our run form to an end. They're keen, but they're not too incredibly enthused by that. So we'll just tell them we can go out and make a difference. If Basuma likes it, and so does no more pay, and we'll let Billy really choose what we do with the Everton players. Fingers crossed we can get something out of this game. We are at home, so hopefully we can force the issue a little bit, and I will change that from cautious to positive, because we are at home and I think we can potentially get something out of this game. But fingers crossed, we'll be at the end celebrating the 3 points. Let's go, lads. So Everton have got it in the midfield here, got it out to Worthy, beats Tarek Lamptey. He plays it back in James Rodriguez, plays Bernard, who's probably going to strike this big save for Matty Ryan. Worrying signs to start off the game. Everton again had it in the midfield here, play out to Marcus Alonso. Plays a 1-2 nicely with Iwobi and then Allen as well. They're keeping it quite well in the midfield here. Struggling to get it through the middle, which is what we want, but there is space out wide for them. But hopefully, if they do cross the ball in, our defenders can clear it. That's the aim anyway. Clear the ball rather than stop the cross is what we're going for. But Marcus Alonso has it here, plays it up to Iwobi, who's going to advance the ball. Tarek Lamptey blocks well, because they've got to go back to the middle with James Rodriguez, who can do anything with that left foot. But Mason Holgate whips the ball in, Alex Iwobi puts it over. So we're back in the 13th minute. Wendell with the throw in, gets it back up Patania. Nil more pay to Patania. Oh, it's a big save from Jordan Pickford. That's a goal-saving save, that. But he's still got the ball here. Wendell puts it back in the nil more pay. Oh, he just can't get it on target. Promising signs, though. Promising signs. We've got another throw here, but Webster's got this one. Plays it to Tanya. Back to Alzate, who plays a lovely, lovely crossfield ball to Tarek Lamptey. Plays it to Wendell. Back to Patania. Wendell, get in! That's beautiful football. It all started from the great crossfield ball from Alzate to Lamptey. Plays it nicely inside, and Wendell gets his 4th goal of the season from left wing back. It's beautiful stuff to see. You can see here, Lamptey plays a lovely ball to Wendell. He pops it to Patania, uses his chest. Wendell into the bottom right hand corner. Beautiful stuff. 1-0 to the Seagulls. Come on. So Brighton here looking threatening with another throw in, but this side is on the right hand side. Nothing comes of it. Development picks up, plays it back to Matty Ryan. Here we are, just playing through the thirds, giving it to our defenders. They're sort of creating that way, but Lamptey shows his pace there. Can he get the ball in? He can do. Alzate! Stephen Alzate. Cannons off the defender, I think. And on the rebound, he just pops it again into that bottom corner. This is a great sort of football I'd love to see play. Webster brings the ball forward, plays a great ball to Tarek Lamptey. Uses his pace to get past Alonso, but he cuts back a little bit. I think Alzate hits it into Michael Keane there. It comes straight back to him. We can just pass it into the net. Jordan Pickford's nowhere. England #1. Yubby's not. Quite a lot of the highlights here have been started off from the throw-ins, so I think both sides are playing quite wide. We'll see what Everton can do from this point. They look quite dangerous, we have, as a whole. But, Bernard should be hitting the target there. That's poor from them. They'll be looking at that, thinking they could have easily got back in the game. Another throw in here. Can you get into the box? Still when Alzate can't win the header, but Bernard can bring it forward. James Rodriguez, with his wizardry, managed to get out of a little bit of a pickle there with Dale Stevens. I told you, he's making those tackles and losing the ball. But so Bernard's got it, brings it forward to James Rodriguez, to Allen, to Iwobi. He's got a lot of space outside him if he wants to use it, but no. Selfish. That's selfish play there. Tarek Lamptey with the free kick here. Not sure why he's taken him, to be honest. I'm sure I had someone else take him, but it wasn't a bad ball in. But Alzate picks it up off Basuma, plays it back to Matty Ryan. We'll reset, we'll go for it again. Joel Vettel with a beautiful ball to Tarek Lamptey. That ball's always there. Uses his trickery. Can't do a lot with that though. And no, picks up the lost ball. Richarlison here is going to be a goal. Matty Ryan, take your hat off to him. It's off. Let's go. But James Rodriguez here. His corner just evades everybody and out for a nice throw in. Here we are. We have a corner. Stevens to take. Can he whip this ball in? He can do. Patania. Oh, he gets the crossbar. It would have been a brilliant end to the first half. What's been a great first half. Webster there with a great sliding tackle on Bernard. And we can get back, have our shape again, and hopefully see out this half. Good half of football. What I was saying before about us not being clinical enough, this is a game where we are clinical enough. We've got 2 goals out of 4 shots on target. It's been quite an even game. but was defended well and managed to sort of put away our chances, which is what we can say we managed to capitalise on a couple of mistakes by them, I think, especially off sort of Alzate's goal, where it hit him and kind of went back to Alzate and put it in. So those are the sort of things that we need to sort of capitalise on more moving forward. But that back three, Veltman, Dunk, and Webster is looking a lot more solid than with White in there. So White may have to do a little bit more to have his place. But that's the competition that we have. So everyone's happy. We're telling them we're delighted, and more pleased in the second half, please, lads. Okay, so we've come into the 60th minute. Nothing's happened in the last 15 minutes, so I think it's worth making a change now. Everton have brought on Sandro for Bernard, and Richarlison has gone out wide, with Sandro going through the middle. So those fresh legs may cause us a problem, but I think it's the right time for us to change something. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Alexis McAllister on for Steven Alzate. I think Alzate's had a really good game, but again, fresh legs going forward, and we might look to bring on Aaron Connolly for Neil Morpay. Morpay's not scored a lot of goals recently. Let's see if those fresh legs of Connolly can do something, and if they don't, Brewster may get a chance against Sheffield United up top next to Britannia. But let's see, and I may look to change one of these wing backs at some point. But what we will do actually is we will, for the time being, put them on support. There's no need for them to keep following forward. They can be a bit more defensive now, and just try and see out these last 30 minutes. And fingers crossed we can pick up a huge 3 points against a very, very decent side. Just as we make the changes, James has got a corner here for Everton. Oh, it was over the line. Oh, Alexis. All you need to do is stop it on the line. Can I reverse that now? That looks dodgy to me. But the technology's there to be used, and you've just got to trust it, but that's not great. We now need to be very careful that we don't sort of lose this game. But fingers crossed, I'm going to tell them to concentrate, and hopefully we can see this out. Okay, as I've just paused this, Everton have a free kick. Very, very worrying. Hammers on it. He's going to be dangerous. Let's just see how it goes. I feel like he's going to whip this in. Veltman with a great header out. Decore, can he do anything with it? No, but Marcus Fonzo has still got it. We're harrying. Decore, big block for Tarek Lamptey. We are going to make that change, so we will pause it here. And what I wanted to do is just change that wing back role. They're both on their last legs, really. And we are going to bring on I think Ben White here is going to have to play out on that right hand side. But we're going to drop him back a bit and swap him actually with Veltman. Actually, Veltman can play there. We'll just do that. Ben White can come on in there. Veltman's going to be that advanced wing back role. Hopefully, add a little bit more sort of aerial threat down that right hand side. And at these corners, hopefully, be a bit more sort of able to win it. Little Tarek Lamptey is, but let's go. Fingers crossed we can do something with this. As they've got the corner, I think, Everton. No, they don't. Okay, Adam Webster here plays it down with a great free kick. Oh, didn't really expect anything from that, but he is offside. So let's just hope Jordan Pickford doesn't pick someone out. He doesn't. Stevens here plays it back to Matty. Ben White. Okay, we're just going to nicely keep this, hopefully, and just see the game out. But instead, Tanya catches it down the line. Aaron Connolly. Oh, he's absolutely stuffed it. No, he hasn't. Okay. It's a corner. Let's see what we can do from this. McAllister's going to go out and take it. Can he whip this ball in onto a Brighton head and into the back of the net? Tanya, we can do, but it's over the bar. That would have sealed the game. It's still promising signs. Here we are, 2 minutes into added time. Hammers plays that deep free kick in. Richarlison picks it up on the edge. It's a good tackle and block by Stevens. I think we might see this game out. About a minute left. Everton bring it forward down this right with Holgate. Stevens blocks again. Just blocks everything. He's like a wall. Hammers with the resulting corner. Lewis Dunks get that cleared. Michael Keane can do anything with it. No, Joel Vetman, brilliant, plays it down the line to Aaron Connolly. Go on, Britannia, make that run, make that run. He does. Oh, Pickford catches. And that should be the end of the game. Come on, lads, let's not do anything late. It's huge. Oh, come on. That worries me whenever Hammers gets in that role. Come on. That's it. That is an absolutely huge 3 points. Let's see us shoot up the table and sort of get further away from that relegation zone. We played really, really well. We're clinical with our chances. And luckily got them in early. There wasn't too many chances hit in that sort of second half other than Britannia. Header that went over the bar, and then Connolly's one that got blocked by Mina. But really, really good. And let's see where that leaves us. So that result sees us shoot up to 14th in the league, 3 points above Palace, who are in 18th. So there's a little bit of a gap there, but again, it's a little bit too early in the season for us to be making any sort of judgments on that. It's still a long, long way to go. But over the next couple of games, we've got Sheffield United, then we go Arsenal, Leeds, Chelsea, and Palace. So what we'll probably do, the next game we come back will probably be either Chelsea, Palace, or Palace, Wolves. We'll do 2 of them, 3. But it'll definitely Palace. That is a big derby for us and one that we do want to win. But fingers crossed we can come back. We've won a couple of games there. We've got obviously Sheffield United and Leeds, ones that we'll be looking at getting points. So hopefully we can put in some good performances at home to Arsenal and then away at Stamford Bridge. But thank you very much for watching. If you could like the video, that's brilliant. Cool.